Today we are doing more applications of trig functions, and most of the solving application problems you can find by first making a sketch of a right triangle that illustrates the problem's conditions. And then you're going to use sine, cosine, or tangent to help you solve the problem. So since most of these have been the same, I'm going to do one where it involves finding the angle. So it says a kite flies at a height of 30 feet when 65 feet of string is out. So far, this is what we have. So it's flying at a height of 30 feet when 65 feet of string is out. If the string is in a straight line, find the angle that it makes with the ground. So here's the kite right here. And this is 65 feet. And since we need the angle that it makes with the ground, this is represented as the ground. And here's my little kite. And then you look at which sides are labeled to tell you whether or not you're going to use sine, cosine, or tangent. And according to this angle, we have the opposite side and the hypotenuse. And the only trig function that will help us is sine. And you can just label this A, B, and C. So you're going to do sine of A equals opposite over hypotenuse. Since we don't know the angle, to get A in your calculator, you have to do sine inverse, making sure that your calculator is in degree mode. And once you put that in your calculator, you should get that A is approximately 28 degrees. So just remember, if you have to find the angle, you have to use the inverse keys. Okay, we'll do a bearing problem. A boat leaves the entrance to a harbor and travels 40 miles on a bearing of south 64 east. How many miles south and how many miles east from the harbor has the boat traveled? And they were going 40 miles. So this is east. So I guess we can we can use A. This is south and this is B. And so to find A, that's opposite over hypotenuse, that's sine. And to find B, that's adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's cosine. So in both cases, we're going to multiply both sides by 40 to get A and B by themselves. And since they didn't tell us what to round to, doesn't matter if you do the 10th or the whole number. So for A, for sine, I got 36 miles. And for B, I got 18 miles. So to answer the question, you would say, remember A was east, 18 miles east, and excuse me, I said that backwards. "36 miles east and 18 miles south." And that's the end. Okay, let's do a bearing problem. Another bearing problem. A boat leaves the entrance to a harbor and travels 25 miles on a bearing of north 40 degrees east. The captain then turns the boat 90 degrees and travels 18 miles on a bearing of south 48 degrees east. What is the bearing of the boat for the harbor entrance? So let's draw a figure so we can see and get a visual of what's going on. Okay, so we're leaving the entrance and we're traveling. Let me draw this line a little further. Actually, let me just take that off. Alright, so we're going north 40 degrees east, and then the captain turns the boat 90 degrees. So right now we've gone 25 miles. And then travels 18 miles on a bearing of south 48 degrees. So that's south 48 degrees east. That's the 18 miles. And they want to know, when we get to this point, what is the bearing of the boat from the entrance? So this is my entrance. Here I am now. So we need this angle right here. So since we have an opposite side and adjacent side, we're going to use tangent of theta. Excuse me, I marked the wrong angle. Equals opposite, which is 18, over adjacent, which is 25. And remember, when you don't have the angle, you can find theta by using the inverse key. And since they didn't say what to round to, it's going to round to a whole number, which is 36 degrees. Now, what I forgot to mark is this angle right here. That was 42 degrees, which is north 42 degrees east. And so the acute angle from here to this ray would be the 42 plus this angle we just found. So we have to get 42 plus 36 gives us 78 degrees. Okay, and then remember, to describe your bearing you need 3 parts. So we were going north, .78 degrees east. And that's your answer. So the bearing of the boat from the harbor entrance, that's from here to here. Would be north 78 degrees east. And then you're done.